So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. We have a very full and clear and exhilarated view of your vortex. Do you understand this vibrational reality that we are demonstrating? Do you get it, that through life you have created a vibrational version of you, and that vibrational version, you can feel it? You can feel the vibrational version of you. When you're in tune with it, you feel exhilarated. When you're out of tune with it, you feel off. Bad mood means you're out of sync with it. Good mood means you're in sync with it. So you can tell by the way you feel how in alignment you are with this version of you. Have you heard enough from us? Have you heard it before today, or did you hear it today? Do you get it, that you have two vibrational aspects, and that every emotion you feel is an indicator of how well those two vibrational aspects are blending or not blending? That's the key to everything about your life. It's the key to your mood from here on, and it's the key to you knowing what your guidance is showing you in terms of finding the fulfilling satisfaction that you came here to live. So we want you to understand that we have the glorious experience of getting to witness, as you sit in the room or as you sit in the chair, both vibrational aspects of you and the relationship they have to one another. And we stand unequivocally, completely inside your vortex of creation. We stand in solidarity with the wholeness of who you are. We will not come out of your vortex to commiserate with you just because you're out of your vortex. We will stand in your vortex knowing that you very much want to be in there too, and we will use every possible thing that we can find to coax you into the vortex. But the most important thing that we want you to understand is you have to make the decision that you want to be there. You have to understand that the vortex exists and that the larger part of you is there. And there's one last thing. You must pay the sacrificial price of joy. You have to care. You have to care that you feel good before anything that we say or any guidance that we help to awaken within you will have any meaning for you. You are the creator of your experience, and you create with the focus that you find. So it is our desire to help you to realize that you can focus into this vortex, and you can bring a manifestational evidence of everything that you want about quickly. But you can't focus on what is and on this vortex of creation at the same time. And that's mostly what we're going to be talking about here today. How you can find the vibration of what's going on in the vortex. And the biggest thing that trips you up is that you are using your physical senses in such a magnificent way in order to define or explain, or even sometimes to explore your physical reality, that you talk in terms of what you see and what you hear and what you smell and taste and touch. It's a tactile, physical reality, this what-isness of this reality. Where this vibrational reality that we're describing, you can't see it because it hasn't manifested in that way. You can't hear it, you can't smell it or taste it or touch it, but you can know it by the feeling of it. In other words, if we can get you addicted to the feeling of well-being, then you can feel your way into the vortex. And once you feel your way in and you establish a chronic pattern of thought that allows you to linger there, then full view, full manifestation comes next. There's a little tripping point on explaining that step to you for this reason. You don't really get it, and it's all right, but you don't really get it, that this physical world that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch is only vibrational interpretation. And most of you don't get it, that the only difference between this vibrational reality that we're describing and the reality that you are so enamored with is that the physical reality has come into fuller focus for you. If you can stay with us just for a moment and accept that it's only a vibrational adjustment between the vibrational version and the manifested version. In other words, to you, sometimes it feels like, well, this is reality. And Abraham's talking about fairy tales and Never Never Land and otherworldly things and non-physical stuff. And sure, I might feel better if I focus into their fairyland, but how does reality fit with that? And we want you to understand that reality is an extension of the same thing. We're not kidding you. You can focus yourself into vibrational sync by feeling your way into the vortex. And if you will, every time you find yourself in there, milk it longer until you have made a concrete habit of sustaining the high-flying, good feeling, secure feeling, vital and alive feeling, love feeling, well-being feeling of being in the vortex. If you will make those emotions chronically your own, the manifestations will be so fast on the heels of that, that people who are watching you will say, what magic have you found? And your response from inside the vortex will be, it's the promise that we all held when we came forth. It's the promise that we are the creator of our own experience and that we get to live the full manifestation of it here. The reason that so many humans are sort of out of whack with that is because you've been making an art of resistance instead of an art of allowing. That's all that it is. You've practiced your resistant thoughts more than you've practiced your allowing thoughts. It's easier to be mad and be ornery and make lists of what you don't want than it is to feel good and be happy and make lists of what you do want. You've been facing the reality and you've been leaning resistant rather than leaning allowing. And that's why we're here, to remind you of who you really are and how it all works. So, can't get it wrong. You never get it done. You will never disappoint us. We stand in the vortex where who you have really become is, and we revel in the expansion that is you, and we love nothing more than when you catch up with you, but you have no assignment to catch up with you. It's your own choice to live joyously or not. You won't make anybody mad who's in the vortex. What do you want to talk about? Some things. Be a good day, yes. Jerry and Esther have a house on the hill over here, and they've been enjoying so much looking out in the direction of the Pacific Ocean. And they could see some of the ocean, but not much. There was a big tree, a very big tree, a fan-like tree, a protected tree, a loved by many tree, blocking their view and the view of several people around them. And so a man that they purchased their house from said to them, we've been trying to convince that man that he should let us feather it out or maybe even take it down. The tree seems dangerous. Occasionally something falls off of it. And he said, but we have tried. We formed a committee and we've asked and we've begged. And Jerry said, well, maybe we could bribe. And so Jerry offered. He didn't use those words, but it means the same thing. He offered money, a lot of money. And the man said, no, he had already developed his pattern of resistance. He didn't like people up on the hill bossing him around. And he didn't care whose view his tree was blocking. And he watered it every day, and every day it got a little taller. And so Jerry and Esther said, of course, that's right. It's his property. He should not be compelled to do something he doesn't want to do. We just wondered if we could make it mutually beneficial, if he would like to play with us. But we understand. And they left it alone. And then he sold his house. And so Jerry and Esther sent an emissary to ask him if he would like to maybe remove the tree in order to sell his house. It might give it more curb appeal because the tree was making a big mess and such. And he still was very resistant. And so they let it go again. And then someone new moved into the house. And so Jerry and Esther sent their emissary again. very knowledgeable landscape architect who described what the place could look like, and these people were not interested. And Jerry and Esther understood, and so they just kept standing on their deck and appreciating the view that they could see, and appreciating the perspective of the owners of the tree, truly. And then one night, while Jerry and Esther were not here, a hurricane blew through. And a big piece of that tree fell on their neighbor's house. And now this man is begging Jerry and Esther to take the tree down, because now it needs to come down. There are children around. The tree is posing a danger. And Jerry and Esther said, of course. Of course. We made you the offer before. We are happy to honor the offer. So the permit was filed. It was agreed upon because of the danger of the tree. A magnificently efficient tree company came and in one day took the tree down. You can't even tell it was ever there. And now there is a magnificent view of the ocean. And Jerry and Esther were sitting and looking at it. And Esther said, it's like the seas have parted. It's that feeling of this opened. They bought this lot to park their bus and then remodeled the house and love it more than anything else. And now the view has opened still further off into infinity. So Esther is sitting on the deck the other day and she spotted another tree. And being the fun-loving being that she is, she said, all right, friends, do you want to do this the easy way or the hard way? She is only kidding, and we are only having fun with her fun. But we're wanting you to understand that when things work at their best, they are always mutually beneficial for everyone involved. And when you are in alignment with your desire, and your desire is maybe to have a better view, but your desire is also to honor the needs and requests of others, and your desire is also to honor nature, and your desire is also to be in harmony in your neighborhood, and your desire is also to be in alignment. In other words, you hold many desires, all of which are spinning in your vortex of creation. And when you don't use something that isn't going your way as your reason to hold yourself outside the vortex. When you bask and appreciate and love life around the things that aren't perfect for you in every moment, so that you let what is working be the basis of the reason that you offer your vibration, then what happens is you are frequently inside the vortex where the universe orchestrates circumstances and events for the accommodation of all who are involved. We're not kidding you about this. You can have everything you want without depriving anyone else of anything, because you live in a balanced enough universe that everything that you want is easily accommodatable by those who surround your object of attention. But unless you get in the vortex where who you really are and what you really want is, you will not see the path. You will not be there at the right time. You will not be a vibrational match to the unfolding that allows things to happen the way they need to happen in order to give you what you want. When you let this vibrational reality play a bigger role in the vibration that is you, what happens is you match up not just with the source you who you have helped become, but you match up with all of the circumstances and events that have already been assembled. We want to say to you that in this vortex of creation, all cooperative components have already been assembled. All cooperative components have already been assembled. Cooperative components for the absolute fulfillment of everything that you've asked for as far as you've been able to ask. The question that we want to help you ask and answer is, are you a compatible component to your own desires? And if you're ornery, the answer is no. If you're disappointed, the answer is no. If you're worried, the answer is no. If you are fitful, the answer is no. If you're overwhelmed, the answer is no. You got to be in the vicinity of hope and up. hope, belief, love, knowing, joy, all that stuff. You got to be in the vicinity of that to really be in the vortex where what looks like magic to those outside